Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Thank you for being here. We are back again after a winter hibernation of Get Off My Lawn. It's been a while since we've done it. I think the last time we did it was before Christmas. I am dying. I am dying from allergies. It hit me like a ton of bricks today. It's been bad for the last 2 weeks, but today was especially bad, especially egregious. And it wasn't easy because yesterday, before we get into today's action, yesterday, Toy Sapiens put out a bit of like a press release or something saying that their lease got terminated. And for those of you who are 112 collectors who might not know what Toy Sapiens is, it is the Hot Toys flagship store in Tokyo, basically for Japan. And their lease, they just moved into this location maybe like 3 or 4 years ago. The lease abruptly got canceled on them. So they're doing a sale on figures. So it's like 30% off. So, I spoke to a couple people that wanted me to grab some stuff for them. And, I was interested in seeing what some of the stuff was as well. So I had to trek in there on the train, and I forgot to get tissues. So I'm on the train. I'm dying. And then I got to Toy Sapiens, and it was a madhouse trying to, weave through people and grab some stuff that you want. So it's a bit of an adventure for me today. But like I said, I'm really struggling. So if I'm not able to look as pretty as I usually do for these streams, I apologize. I'm sorry to disappoint. But with that being said, like I said, we are back with Get Off My Lawn. And for those of you who don't know, maybe you are new to my channel and you haven't seen any of the previous videos, what Get Off My Lawn is basically a Saturday morning live stream where we talk to various collectors. So it's a spotlight on one collector every episode, and we talk to collectors about who they are, what's their journey been like as a collector, how did they start off, where are they now, what kind of things do they collect now, what are some of the more recent pickups, that sort of thing. And then hopefully, depending on the collector, we might get a little bit of a tour of the collector's collection, and just have a good look and, a good see what he or she is all about. So with that being said, without further ado, I'm going to bring in our man for today. So if you've been in our Facebook group almost since the inception, James Wilson, who is our guest today, has been a very important part of the group. He's a very vocal collector. He is based in the UK, which is one of the reasons that I like doing these streams Saturday morning, because normally our night streams in the United States, we're not able to include a lot of our European friends, our European collectors. So doing it in the morning is good. It's nighttime here. It's 10 o'clock at night. And again, just trying to get to know all the people who frequent our group and the Facebook channel. So let me bring in James. Let's say hi to James and welcome James. Thank you for
Hey,
being
hello
here.
everyone. No problem. Thanks for having me.
So James has been going by different names over the past few months. He's
Yeah.
James Wilson for the longest time, and then he was the one and only, and now he's Plastic Hero UK. So why don't
Yeah.
you tell us what Plastic Hero UK is from the beginning?
Yeah. So, well, the whole idea is I don't really have a social media presence as such. I don't have time for anything like that. Really, it's just absolutely insane amount of time goes into all of this, as well as work and whatnot. But the whole idea is I'm spending loads of times ordering stuff from Japan, from China, overseas. So I thought to myself, oh well, I may as well offer it out to other people as well within the UK that don't want to mess around with any of the custom fees and any of the stuff that comes with all of that rubbish, you know. So it started off where I would buy one figure for me, and then I'd maybe buy a second one to store, and then maybe sell on later. But then it started getting to I buy one for me, I buy two, I buy one for me, I buy three. At the point now where I think I'm getting around every time Medicom reissue figures, I'm getting about 20 copies, something like that. Uh, and I mean, don't get us wrong, some of them don't sell, um, but I tend to try and keep the prices as low as possible. I think at last check I was adding a few pounds onto the figure to just to make it worth my while. But yeah, eBay store. I've just opened my own website as well. Very small scale, but yeah, it's enough to sort of subsidize my own collecting, and that was the main aim. If I buy 5 or 6 figures, then by the time I sell those on, I can get one for virtually zero cost, something like that.
Okay.
And yeah, and the name is as it suggests, Plastic Hero. Not a hero
Plastic
by
or
any
UK.
means, but yeah. And in the UK.
Okay, so why don't we just get into it right away?
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm gonna last the entire stream. I'm probably decomposing as we talk.
yeah.
Um, your journey as a collector. How did you start collecting in general, and how did that become sort of this new iteration of you as a toy collector?
Yeah. So I think it it started. I never used to live in this house. Used to live in a much smaller house, and I never had any space for anything whatsoever. So I always wanted to collect statues or figures or something along those. I would always go to. We've got a few stores here in the UK. Nothing as good as you guys over there, and everything's very expensive, but the rest of the people from the UK will know the likes of Forbidden Planet. So you go into Forbidden Planet and they've got all of these lovely hot toys, but they're all about £500-600 each. Really, really expensive. And as I say, it never had the space before. So I do collect cards. So I started off collecting like Pokemon cards, which I'm not
How old were
really.
you when you started collecting?
It wasn't that long ago, to be fair. I've only collected for like the past 5 year, if that, to
Wow.
be honest with you. Because as I said, I always used to focus on work, never had that much time to myself, never had the space or anything. So having space is dangerous because if I see that I don't have room for it, then I'm quite easy going where I'll go, all right, well, I don't have room, so that's perfectly fine. But if I do have space for it, like just before the stream, I was telling you that I've just put another cabinet in. So all the cabinets on the bottom here are all now empty. So all I'm thinking, what's going through my mind now is, what can I put in them? What can I put
Yeah.
in them? But yeah, I'm terrible in that way. But the whole idea uh, if I've got the space to be able to do it, I will. If I don't have the space, then it does just kill it for us there and then. And I never had the space before, so moving to a new home enabled me to have my own office. I work from home, so I spend most of my time in this room. So it was just the natural progression of that, where I've always had the love for it. My first figure that I bought was in November 23. So as I haven't been collecting figures for that long at all, but it was Mafek's Homelander,
Oh,
and yeah, that was my first figure, and I love the boys, love Homelander, anything to do with the comic, the TV show, absolutely brilliant. So I bought that figure, and then after I bought that, that was the gateway to the whole thing, where I would just collect anything I liked. I think my second figure was my battle damaged Iron Man, again another Mafex. I did dabble in SHF. I still do, but less so now. But I get loads and loads of 1/12 figures. Started off collecting all those, and then Your Fault, I might add, started looking into 1/6. Yes, you can be blamed for that. So
How did that transpire?
it was, I think, it was a natural progression. So while looking into when I joined Don't Tell My Wife and started getting in there, I'm very, as you said, I like to talk. Very vocal in there. I like doing reviews. I haven't found my format yet, so I'm just doing whatever. And when I joined that group, I was able to see some of the figures that you guys collect, not only yourself, but Al, Ryan, Jason. Well, not Jason at the time because he was 1/12 as well. But yeah, just seeing how everybody else was collecting and saw some of the fantastic figures that you guys were getting, and wanted a bit of that action. But I would never spend loads of money before. Like, don't get us wrong, I'm careful with my money as much as the next guy, and I never ever thought that I would spend, upwards of £800 slash $1,000 on a figure, but I've done it several times. So yeah,
This week.
well, yeah, there's that as well. But yeah, there's been a few times where I've sort of talked myself into it, justified the cost. And my first 1/6, which I still have, is the No Way Home Spider-Man here, which I got dirt cheap. I think it was about £100. Yeah, just this guy here, £100. You can't pose him at all. I did try posing him in a sort of crouch down pose, but after about a week and a half, I noticed that the back of the knee of the suit started wearing down. So that was a no-go. So as you can see, the two Spider-Men that I've got are just both standing there in a static pose. But I love the looks of them. So the head sculpts, they're all amazing. And then from there I started buying Iron Man, and then yeah, it just sort of spiraled, shall we say.
Mm.
Now, I still 1/12. That's my core. I still love collecting 1/12, and especially with all the new advancements, and the 1/12 game at the moment is just amazing. Some of the stuff I've been getting is absolutely fantastic, like crazy fantastic. So I'm sort of enjoying the articulation, the posing of the small ones. I can take you around later and you can see some of the poses I've got. Most of my 1/6 are just standing in museum poses, but the figures themselves with their shelf presence, I think they've got enough to sort of, yeah, hold their own, so to speak. But as you can see, I like mixing my scales. So I put my 1/6 in the back and then put my 1/12 around the front. And then I've got some comic book acrylics to go with them as well, to sort of help the art along, which again, yes, you get credit for that too. Bottleneck Gallery, if anyone doesn't know, they do loads of posters and stuff. I never liked posters because I'm very heavy-handed and tend to rip things, but the acrylics are like multi-layered and they're nice and
Multi-layered
solid.
printing.
Yeah, yeah, and they're absolutely fantastic. So the first one I ever bought, and again, this was totally off your back, and I'm 100% blaming you for this. I bought this one here, which you can't really see it, but if
Is it
I,
the big one?
yeah, so it's you can't really see it in the corner, but it's the
Yeah,
big one, which is the Spider-Man with the venom dripping all the venom from his mouth.
yeah.
I got that, and I only wanted a comic size panel,
Yeah.
and that one
Surprise.
came, and it was gigantic, and I was like, oh, what have I done? So that sort of pride and place in on the wall, and then after that, I got the sizing right, or actually read the list. And I'm terrible for clicking buy on limited things. I'll click buy without realizing what I'm doing, and then I'll go back to it and I'll be like, oh, that was the wrong thing. Sometimes I can change it, sometimes I can't. But yeah, I've got the little collectibles, the little comic size ones, which are dotted around everywhere. But I collect like the Spider-Man ones because they seem to bring one out every couple of months. I have
Yeah.
gotten a few different ones as well, which, as I say, I've incorporated into the collection. So yeah, I think I've sort of got the bug now where I'm just sort of, if I like the look of something, I'll collect it. Um, yeah, which is very dangerous, and it can be very dangerous, and I'm easily influenced as well.
Listen, man, you're singing to the choir here, right?
Yeah,
We all know. So let me just interrupt you. As a kid,
yeah.
you had toys, yes?
Oh yes, yes. Jurassic
What
Park.
what did you play with?
Yeah, Jurassic Park, Power Rangers. That's the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. None of this rubbish that came afterwards. Um, what was it? Turtles. My earliest memory from being a child is my 5th birthday. Can't remember anything before this, but I remember getting um, Raphael cosplay. I say cosplay. It was a apron, the apron that they put on you when you finger paint.
Yeah,
It was that type of material. It was an apron of the turtle torso. It was a plastic Halloween type mask, and then I had 2 plastic sai. And I got this for my birthday, and I loved it. I would run around pretending I was Raphael all the time, which is the best turtle. I don't care what Ian says. It's definitely Raphael. We were talking about it before, and he says it's Donatello. Donatello is mighty cool, mind you, but yeah, I think it's Raphael because the hot-headed nature. I relate to him the most.
okay.
And I remember the Jurassic Park
Ian is
collections.
chiming in.
Is he in there? Donnie, yeah, yeah. But yeah, I remember having Jurassic Park collections, um, and I can't remember what collection it was, but I had a T Rex, and it was about this big, and it had a chunk that you would take out of it, where the other T Rex would be able, you could pretend that it was eating it and stuff,
Yeah,
and yeah, so it was just really, really good. And I used to collect all the Power Rangers as well. I had the original 1990 flip head ones. When you press the morpher on the belt and
yeah.
it morphed the heads. Um, but
Now,
yeah,
how many of these toys do you still have?
none, absolutely none. I used to, as I say, that the earliest I remember is when I was 5, and then as I was coming out of toys, I think I must have been
Which
about
is when?
13, 14. No, actually 12, 13. Um, the transition went from toys, Pokemon cards back then, and then I started noticing girls, and obviously that was it. Toys and whatnot it had nothing on girls at the time. So 13, 14, going into like senior, or what you guys would call high school.
Yeah.
And that was it from there. I don't think I touched another toy until oof, nigh on 36, 37, something like that. Yeah.
What a lot of wasted years, huh, James?
Yeah, oh, definitely. Well, ever since I was young, I've always had a great work ethic. So I used to have 3 or 4 paper rounds. I used to have a Saturday job. So as fast as I could start earning, and I was always out, and I don't know what I spent my money on, to be honest with you, but I would always be out and about, would always be doing something. I would always have money in my pocket. I would never want the feeling of being broke, because I've I've lived that life before. So I'm always wheeling and dealing, as it were, just trying to make a pound here or a pound there. Um, and yeah, I think all the years of concentrating on work, I forgot all about play. Making up for it now, though, and
And
my
then
wife
some,
will
yeah.
tell you, definitely making up for it now. I think
So
I was going to say,
so
Ian.
go ahead,
Oh,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, Ian was saying the kind of Jurassic Park toys. I think,
Yeah.
yeah, they were like the original line. I remember going to the cinema and seeing Jurassic Park in the movies for the first time, and obviously not knowing anything like that beforehand. I would imagine how it was like when you guys went to see Star Wars, um, when that first opened.
Yeah.
That was my Star Wars. You know, all the Jurassic Park and all of it was animatronics. None of it was CGI, and it was like, wow, amazing.
Yeah. Jurassic Park was what, 1990?
Yeah, yeah,
So I was 14 and I had just started collecting toys.
nice.
You know, like that. I was a collector at 14 years old. And I walked out of that movie, and all that I did collect at the time was like Star Wars.
Yeah,
And I walked out of that movie and said, damn, I want to get some dinosaur toys.
yeah,
And I was 14 years old, you know. So it was I mean, even at that age, it made a big impact. You know, I can only imagine what a 5-year old, 6-year old is going to imagine.
yeah. And as I say, it was just from there. I was I would have been 5, nearly 6, I think, because my birthday's in November, so I was probably 5, nearly 6, and it was just anything about dinosaurs from then on, and I went absolutely crazy. I sort of dropped the turtles at the time. Was as much as I loved the turtles, it was all about dinosaurs. And again, used to have model kits trying to build those. I had a glow in the dark fossil that you put together from magazines. You got a magazine through the post every month, and it was like $3.99, something like that back then. And you would get parts for the dinosaur, and you would clicky clack those together. And then eventually, after you've collected the whole series, you've paid something like £400 for a twenty
Yeah,
pound
yeah.
toy. Yeah, yeah. But again, used to love that.
I mean, I've heard. I mean, they do that in Japan, and I've heard that they do that in the UK, and they do it in Italy and in different
Yeah,
places. But I don't recall anything even remotely like that in the States, unless it totally passed me by. But
yeah,
that subscription, like build as you go
yeah.
type thing, we just didn't have that in America.
They do loads online now. I've seen. I've nearly fallen for a couple. There was a build your own Iron Man one, and they're from like a company called like DeLonghi or something like that. But the thing
Yeah,
is,
yeah, yeah,
though, it was nearly 20. It was like 19.99 a copy. So if you're talking about buying one for 20 quid, it just the prices are just going to spiral out of control.
yeah.
And yeah, you can buy a hot toy or a custom made figure for cheaper, and it ends up being way better than those mass produced clicky
Yes.
clack parts that you put together.
So I was gonna ask you, unlike me, where I played with toys, I stopped playing with toys, and then if there was a few year gap there, and then I started collecting toys.
Yeah,
So it's always been sort of part of my life. There was another brief pause when I moved to Japan. I don't know, maybe like 4 or 5 years where I would buy something here and there, but I wasn't collecting. I was telling myself I can't do this again, right? Like this, there's
yeah, yeah,
definitely no room here. But I've always been a collector, and anyone who's been in a relationship with me kind of knew that from the get-go. You, on the other hand,
yeah.
you were in a relationship, you had a family, and then you started down this road. How's your family responding to you being a collector at the volume that you're collecting?
Um, the wife started off twisting her face a little bit, shall we say? Uh, yeah, so she started where I would only get the odd figure here and there, and she was like, "Oh yeah, boys and their toys, okay, that's perfectly fine." Um, but then obviously it started getting to the point where she can see what makes me happy. So then instead of I would look at something and I would go, "That's too expensive." Like I'm spending anywhere between 40 and £120, yeah, in the UK, which is getting me most of the things that I buy, and that's from buying SHF figures to the higher end third party Grail figures, the really good ones. And as I was looking at the prices of stuff going up and up and up, and this was always my borderline between 1.6. They were always too expensive. But then the wife can, as I say, she sees what makes me happy, and so she started encouraging it, which I've been very fortunate. So it's kind of ironic because with the group being called, Facebook group being called "Don't Tell My wife is very understanding, to the point where she knows that these things are what I want to do and what I've always been wanting to do, because I've always talked about this type of stuff, but she's always known that we've never had the money or we've never had the space to do it. So she's terrible because she will encourage me, to the point where I think one of the first big purchases that I got was the in art Batman, the deluxe pack.
The
So it
Patterson
came the Patterson one. It came with Batman. It came with Bruce Wayne, and it came with what's the light, the bat
the
signal,
bat signal.
the bat signal. Um, and again, I was twisting my face. It's too expensive. It's too expensive. And then she was like, just do it. You've banged on enough about this. Just pull the
Don't be a
trigger.
pussy.
Yeah, pretty much. And, once she gives her blessing, then I start talking myself into thinking it's a good idea. So yeah, don't listen to those intrusive thoughts at all.
But she knew the price on that, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're not going to
Uh,
get into price because,
yeah.
sometimes
Oh yeah,
significant others do watch and so on and so forth.
of
But
course.
she understands, independent of what you're doing now, where you're helping other collectors in the UK. We'll get to that later on. But she understands, or she has an idea of what you're spending per month these days on your own
Yes.
collection,
Yes. So,
and that's okay.
um, it's
You're
kind
not
of
dead.
yeah,
So
I'm still breathing, barely, but I'm still breathing. I think the whole idea with us is that just a bit of background. Me and my wife have been together for 22, 23 years now, so it's a long-standing relationship. We've got three kids together, three human kids, two dogs, and we've sort of been through it all. So when we first got together, first looked for a house, uh, she's never really worked, or she got pregnant early. So I had a daughter when I was 18, and she would stay at home with the daughter. And again, with me always working all the time, I had to go out and provide. So got a house, went out, able to get an okay paying job, nothing great, and we had enough to get by. But we would always do, like credit cards, live off a credit card, live out of an overdraft, stuff like that, and it was a bit tough. But I would always find a way to do the things I liked, and I used to. I'm an IT guy by trade, so that naturally goes over into gaming and whatnot. Don't do gaming now, but when I did do gaming, I used to build PCs and used to. That's what all my money went on back then. So I was always nice and responsible. So if we could afford it, I would get it. But it was always the whole, oh well, what if we stick it on a credit card? Then we're not really paying for it now. Um, and from there sort of spiraled out of control and got into a little bit of a ditch where I owed uh, what seemed like a massive amount of money at the time, which was, like I'm never going to have this amount of money in my hand to pay this off, so to speak. And yeah, it was a bit rubbish. And throughout the years building up my career within IT, I think I got to about my mid 20s, late 20s, and realized that if I actually started applying myself, then I could actually get a better paid job. I could actually start, building something. So that's what I did. Um, I've got all the certifications and whatnot. I work in cloud technology, mainly Microsoft. So I went out, got all my certifications, and then as I was learning more, I realized that opportunities doors started opening up. So then started climbing the ladder at work and whatnot. The more responsibility I got, the more money I would get paid, to the point where I've got a fairly good paid job now, and the wife has never had to work for all those 23 years. She's done a few bits and bobs here and there, but we've just been a one income family. So we sort of share, I don't have a single bank account. She doesn't have a single bank account. I know that when every time I tell people about like finances or whatnot, everybody's like, "Well, you share everything," and I'm like, "Yeah, we just the money goes in the one account. We've both got access to it. There's no secrets, no nothing like that." She does often take cash out and hide it, but it's normally to hide it for my birthday or to hide it for Christmas.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, which this year she handed me £300 in notes, and told me to go buy the latest Batman hot toy that I wanted. Which again I was humming and hawing about and twisting my face at, should I buy it, should I not? And then she was like, "Well, there you go. There's the money for you. It's not costing you a
Has
penny."
she ever bought you a figure?
No,
No.
I don't think she pays enough attention to know where I get them from.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or
But
to even know what you have, right?
yeah, she will mention, she will get, if I was to ask her what she knows about it, she'll reel off a couple of the retailer names, I would imagine. So she hears me talking about where I got this from or where I got that from, but I don't think she wouldn't have the confidence in picking something out that would be to my standard, and not that my standards are head and shoulders above the rest. I'm just a picky collector. So if I look towards getting something, I'll figure it out, and I will go and research the hell out of something, especially like a big purchase like a hot toy. I'll go make sure that I'm definitely getting what I want, and then I'll pull the trigger. The latest one I can tell you about is the T800, the new Hot Toys 2.0 that they've just released. They did a normal and a battle damaged. Obviously, the battle damage is more expensive. The battle damage, you get a diorama. There's more to it, but I had to have the standard. I had to have the clean version look.
Well, I cried because I couldn't get it.
Oh, really? You're going to cry even more with this, because I tell you, I won it. I won it in a raffle on Facebook as well. It cost
Did
me,
you?
I think it was £8. It cost me for it. Yeah.
So you only
So
got the one.
I only got the one. So when I spoke to the guy who was doing the raffle, he said, what one do you want? And I says, "Oh, I'll have the battle damage because that was the only one on the list." I says, "But I would love the clean version." And obviously, I think the guy that was running the waffle, he jumped at the chance because he could get it cheaper himself. So he was like, "I can get you the clean version if you want." I also had the option to get the in-art Nazgul as well as part of that offer, and I wish I had have gone for that now. But
With the
hindsight,
horse?
with the horse as well, yeah. Yeah, I know, but again, it cost me £8 to enter it, and at the time, what put me off was that the Nazgul didn't have a head sculpt. Obviously, it comes with just the
Yeah,
hood,
yeah.
and I don't collect Lord of the Rings because I think I went to start when
After
legal.
Gandalf was gone.
Yeah, that's what destroyed it for us. So I think it was after,
Yeah.
yeah. So when Aragon was selling out, I was like, oh, I could get an Aragon, but yeah, the Gandalf and as much how amazing that figure is, I'm not paying £1,000 plus for it. That's
Yeah.
£1,000 as well, not dollars. It's just
Yeah.
crazy price here in the UK at the moment.
So your kids now, you started collecting after your kids are born, after your kids
Yeah.
are, of an age to kind of understand that their dad is now collecting toys. How do your kids respond?
Uh, I don't think they really cared, to be honest with you. At the start, at least anyway, they were very much just like, all right, yeah, he's just doing what he wants to do. Um, I think we're all well, I say we're all a few of were in the family. I've got two autistic children, and I'm definitely autistic. I'm not diagnosed,
We
but
all are.
yeah, I can't believe somebody does this without being. So yeah, and my wife is pretty much exactly the same as well. So having a house full of autistics, I think the everyone just accepts everybody for who they are, which is great. But put us all in a room together, oh, you will hate it. Soon as we all get in a room, everyone starts talking over the top of each other. Everyone tries to match each other's volume, and yeah, yeah, everybody is just crazy in my house. But my son, um, he he obviously saw what I was doing and thought, "Oh, that's fantastic." But he didn't do Marvel, didn't do Star Wars, didn't do any of the stuff that I was collecting, so he wasn't really interested. Um, but we started getting him into. I used to give him like my Xbox, my old Xbox or stuff like that, and he started playing games and started playing Transformer games and stuff like that. So he was very much on board with console games, and then he started going down the Nintendo track, and he loves Legend of Zelda. So then we started buying them the little ambios that go with his games, and then that morphed into buying the figures, which now he's got a couple of 1/6. So yeah,
And he
again, that
would
was a
never have
natural progression.
access to these if his dad wasn't a collector.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. I mean, I say that sometimes he tells me about stuff that comes out before I even know.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh yeah, if it's anything to do with, I think if it's anything to do with Marvel, DC, Medicom, any third party stuff, then I get the information from the horse's mouth. But with his type of stuff, so there's anything to do with Transformers, Zelda, anything to do with that side, he's right on the ball, right on the money, and he's a smart lad. So he'll go off and he'll do his own research, and he'll know exactly what he wants and when it's coming out. So he'll come to me and he'll be like, "Can you pre-order this for us?" And I'll be, "Yeah, no problem. How are you going to pay for it?" He'd be like, "Oh well, it's later down the line. I'll worry about it then." And it's like, "Yeah, I know what you." So yeah, it's terrible. But he's got selective mutism, and he also has. Uh, we don't know. He's still getting diagnosed, but we think it's Tourette's. So we think he's got Tourette's, and he can't engage with new people and whatnot. So we've sort of started bribing him. So what we'll do is we'll offer a new toy or a new something, a new set, to get him to interact with people at least a little bit. And it's working because he's very materialistic. He knows his value. That kid, he's absolutely
How old is
terrible
he?
he's 14, but he knows his value. As I say, he's autistic, but he's I think he's autistic in the way I'm autistic, where everything's accounted for. If there's no point to doing something, you won't do it, that type of thing. But as I say, he knows his worth. If I ask him to go get a drink for me out the fridge, he'll ask us how much it's worth. He'll be like, "Yeah, it's going to cost you," and I'm like, "You little bugger, it's not going to cost us at all." But
You tell him how much rent costs?
well, yeah, yeah. I'm like, lights, yeah, yeah. You have a shower, hot water. I'm like, this is all the stuff you get. But he's only joking half the time. But if you weren't offering money, he would take it. But yeah, he's always loved that side, and then obviously I've always tried to get him into Star Wars. He just does not like it at all. He won't budge. Yeah, but he was bored one day, and he came downstairs and he went, um, Avengers, amazing. And I was like, what? It's like, oh yeah, I've started the MCU. I started it 2 days ago, and I've just getting onto Avengers, and I'm like, wow, really? No way, because he doesn't try new things quite often,
Yeah.
He knows what he likes and he sticks to it, but he just went off, and we've got I don't know if you know Plex at all, Plex server. So we've got loads of movies on there just for in the house, and the guys have all got access to it, so they all just browse and stream movies when they want. And I had all of the MCU movies on, and he over the course of a week he went through all the movies, all the live action TV shows, all the animations, you know,
This is
and
during holidays, yeah?
no, well, any spare time, he's homeschooled, so since
Ah,
yeah,
okay.
so since he can't go out and interact with people, it all started. He did used to go to school, but then it all sort of broke down after that. But
Okay.
he does homeschooling now via remote, so he does have a lot of free time on his hands. And as I say, he went through every single little Marvel thing ever,
Crazy.
um, and he loved it. And I
2
kept
weeks,
telling
man?
him
2 weeks?
something like 2 weeks, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And he loved it. He thought it was absolutely amazing. I was like, "This is what I've been trying to tell you." And then I'll show him my stuff, and I'm like, and then he started going, um, yeah, I love all of this stuff. So every time, and to be fair, this again totally my fault. So I can never sort of whinge at him for collecting, because I would have a figure and I would be like, "Oh, there's a new one coming out, but I don't need two. What should I do with this one? Do you fancy it?" And it started off, so he loves Spider-Man, same as me. Spider-Man, my favorite superhero, and he used to go, yeah, yeah, I'll have them. So I then started giving my hand-me-downs to him. I would buy the new figure,
Yeah.
like the 2.0, so to speak, and then it would spiral out of control from there, where it was like, oh right, I'll get another figure, and I'll be like, right, do you want this one? And again, he likes what he likes. I used to have the knockoff CT, brown suit Wolverine,
Mhm.
before the reissue came out, and I tried to give him that. Didn't want it at all. Doesn't want anything to do with Wolverine. Doesn't
Not
yeah,
yet. Not yet.
not not yet. The only thing he's seen him in is the Deadpool and Wolverine movie. I've told him he needs to sidebar. He needs to go do all the X-Men. He needs to do Logan. But yeah, he likes what he likes, and one day it'll, just like the Marvel stuff,
It'll just happen.
the light bulb moment will
Yeah.
happen, and then he'll know what he's missing out on. But he knows all the characters and whatnot, and he holds his own when we're talking about it. The only thing is, though, he's got a big mouth on him, and what he does is he comes down, he tells us how rubbish my poses are. So then I end up throwing the figure at him and go on then, see if you can do any better. And every time his poses suck worse than mine. And I don't mind saying that, because I say it to his face as well. He always has a go at my poses, but yeah, he can't pose either.
So let me ask you this, because I don't think a lot of people who aren't in Europe can appreciate the difficulty
Yeah,
people there face when it comes to obtaining figures. Can you talk a little bit about it, your experience, the obstacles that are in the average European's way when it comes to collecting stuff, especially from the
yeah,
States or from Asia?
yeah. So I think the problem is price. So the first thing, uh, is everything costs to ship, and that is the killer of the hobby, as far as the people in the Western, the Western world go. If I was like you and if I lived in Japan, it would be very dangerous because I would probably have half the space but double the figures because I'd be able to collect more, but it would just be crazy. But the problem is that shipping sometimes costs more than the actual item itself. So recently I posted in the group this guy here, which
Hold
is
on.
the yeah, which is the Azure Lion. I don't forgive me, by the way. I've got no idea what this IP is. I just know that he looks cool. And again, I have to be very careful with that because I do have a few figures that I've got no idea what they are. I've just got them because they look awesome. But the throne for this guy was more than the cost of the throne and the figure put together for the shipping. Absolutely crazy. So he came direct from Hong Kong, and if I lived in Hong Kong or if I lived somewhere closer, I would be able to buy that figure and that throne for under £100, no problem at all. That would be absolutely great. Uh, and then I maybe have a little bit of change from £100 as well, but since I have to get them shipped here, it costs me double that again, plus a little bit more for shipping. Some places do. I don't know if it's subsidized shipping or if they just have better rates with better carriers, but I've noticed that the guys from China specifically, that ends up costing an arm and a leg. The stuff from Japan, I think on average, depending on how fast you want it, the faster you want it, the more expensive it's going to be. So I tend to sort of mix and match between using 4 to 5 day shipping, which is either with DHL or FedEx. That's the fastest, but as I say, you're paying a premium for it. You do get the slower ones, which is I bought 6 Hono figures, the 1/6 figures from, I think it was from Hobbylink Japan, because they were
Yep.
dirt cheap. And
Don't
when I
rub
got
it
them,
in.
yeah. But when I got them in my private warehouse, I went to ship them, and the shipping costs were astronomical. Like totally killing the great deal I got on the figures. So if I had shipped them, I would have basically paid exactly the same amount as if I had bought them from a retailer in the UK. Retailers in the UK add local taxes and whatnot, customs fees, all of that jazz that comes with it. And it just wasn't worth doing. So what I did was I chose the lowest option for shipping, which was boat, surface shipping, and I think it
Mhm.
cost me something like 3,000 yen to ship per two. Um, which wasn't a bad deal at all because I got them into the country, and by the time I ended up getting them with fees and whatnot, I still got a fantastic deal on them. So yeah, that's what kills you. It's the shipping charges, any custom fees, and yeah, you guys have had a bit of taste with that with the tariffs that you've had coming in over the few. Well, I say you guys, Americans, yeah, with Trump and his tariffs and stuff. But the problem being is that we've got that anyway. So there's rules within the
All
UK,
the time.
yeah, all the time. So when you guys were whinging about that, we were just going, welcome to our world. It
Yeah.
is what it is, and it sucks, but yeah, it is. But the problem is that everything you buy abroad, it costs 20% more expensive because you're adding those taxes on, the value added tax. And the problem for me, even if you buy something from abroad and you get it in and you have to pay that tax, that's fine because the government gets their cut. I understand that. But every time you get something shipped to you, it gets stopped in customs. Customs check it over, they rubber stamp it, and then they want paid around about $20, the equivalent of $20, about 12, £14. They want £14 fee for rubber stamping it. So it just costs more money and more money. So by the time you get a fantastic figure that you want, that anyone local can get for about £60, you're already about £100 in, which is a massive killer for a lot of these collectors
Sure.
in the UK.
Yeah.
It's just it's just not sustainable. So
It'd
that's
be
why
like
I
people.
started.
Yeah, it'd be like
Yeah,
people, just to give a little bit of context, it'd be like people in the United States who buy Mafex instead of buying them from Hobby Link Japan or Hobby Genki or Amiyami, only buying from Big Bad Toy Store.
yeah, yeah,
That's the pricing you'd be looking at, which is
yeah.
it's crazy.
That is exactly the same, exactly the same. But I know that a lot of people are put off by the uncertainty of custom charges or any of the fees and stuff. So that's why I started buying extra figures in to then start doing, I do all that work in the background and then I just list it as a price. So then if someone was to buy from me, they would go, right, that's all I'm paying. I put all the shipping and whatnot included in it. Sometimes it can take a little bit of time to get it here because if you buy an expensive figure and then you pay for the expensive shipping, you don't just get charged tax on the expensive figure, you get charged on the postage as well, which is not fair as far as I'm concerned. But again, by the time you get something like that in, you've got a base price of what you've paid. And I understand that. I've been doing it for a few years now, and I rarely get charged extra stuff. So what will happen is sometimes I get invoices, but sometimes I'll get a letter through the door, and that letter will be a carrier demand, and I pay so and so because I've missed a payment or something along those lines. And a lot of that stuff scares people and they don't want to deal with it. I'm clever enough now that I've sort of tried to dial that back, and most of the stuff that I do get, I'm within the rules and everything's all good and proper. So I think the last time I got an invoice like that was from InArt, and um, it was for Wukong, my monkey guy, uh, and I got it direct from InArt because it was a fantastic price.
112.
112, sorry, yeah, 112th one. I got it from InArt because it was a fantastic price. I think it was about £60, £63, something like that. And I thought, brilliant. I looked on all of the third party sites, all of the aftermarket sites, and they were all 90 odd pounds ish. And so I bought it from InArt direct, got them in, boom, slapped with a £40 charge. So I paid £10 more than I would have paid for it. And yeah, so it's just stuff like that. You live and learn. Once you make those mistakes a few times, then you sort of get used to it,
Yeah,
and you learn the not loopholes, but you learn the tricks to be able to sort of avoid that type
to
of thing.
survive.
Yeah, yeah, because it's just so expensive, and no
Yeah.
matter how much money you've got, if I was a millionaire, I would still be watching the pennies, and I would still be not wanting to, if I had a choice between shipping that cost £90 and shipping that cost £70, I'd always consider it. Even if I could afford it, it's not about affordability; it's about worth, and you know,
Value.
yeah, yeah. Make sure you're getting the value out of everything.
So, James, what is a figure that you've picked up recently that you're in love with?
Um, my recent ones. Let's have a look. I think probably the best figure in my collection. I'm on a live stream. If you don't want to be seen, yeah. I just the door. I just walked in. I was just warning that. I think the best figure in my collection is my battle damaged Darth Vader, which is here.
Over in the corner, yeah.
Yeah, I've got a Ironworks lightsaber on him as well, which I highly recommend. I don't have any of the stock lightsabers on my figures now because it just elevates them 1,000%. Uh, I didn't pre-order him. I did have to pay aftermarket pricing, but it was
The
a
late
figure that I
tax.
had to have. Yeah, and it was my own fault because I'm sort of getting out of it now, where most of the figures that were up for pre-order, I wasn't collecting Hot Toys back then.
Yep. Yep.
But I'm starting to get over that hill now, whereas the ones that are coming out now are the ones that I did manage to pre-order. So the Anakin next to him, the Artisan Anakin, that's the Asian exclusive one. Again, aftermarket pricing. I've got the other the light side Anakin in the bottom here with another ironwork saber, and again aftermarket pricing. So yeah, if I want something, I'll get it because I'll justify the cost because I really want something. And Anakin's my favorite Star Wars character, but I would have said favorite figure overall is that battle damaged Darth Vader. It's just a masterpiece. It's a work of art, especially with the cape as well. It's really, really nice.
So James, you just brought it up. What is a figure that has eluded you up until this point that you want? Your grail, your personal grail.
Oh, I think it would have to be the in-art Gandalf. If we're talking 1/6. Oh yeah, I'm so glad that you've noticed that, Bones, because that's the air. It's sitting on an air purifier, and obviously it's sucking in the air from the top. And yeah, Batman's cape blows on the horse. That's why I put him up there. I think he looks fantastic. But I'm literally beaming with pride now that you've mentioned it. It's like yes, I'm so sad.
Someone noticed.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I am super sad about missing out on Gandalf. Um,
Well, at this point, you've missed out on Gandalf and everybody.
agree. Well, yes, I know, but yeah,
So just wait for Notice
yeah,
Studios to do their 1/12 Lord of the Rings and grab
yeah.
those.
Yeah, I was going to say that's my line, and where I draw it is anything that is special to me, like anything that is in my heart, that I will always go all out on it. I won't have any problem with spending the money if I can afford it. I will go all out on it, and I'm an all or nothing type of person. But if it is something that I sort of like, but I'm not massively, fanboying over it, then I'll get it in 1/12, and that'll satisfy me completely. Like you will notice that I don't have many Star Wars here. I've got my Star Wars on my back shelves here, which I'll show you a bit later. But out of my whole collection, I've only actually got two Darth Vaders, and with them being one of my my favorite characters, I just don't see the point in having any more than
Oh,
one, to be
shut up,
honest with you.
James.
No, seriously. But you ask us about
You'll learn.
Superman.
You'll
Yeah.
learn.
Oh, but look, mate, this shelf here is Batman. Every single character is Batman. Every single one's Superman. And then which way am I going again? Sorry, I'm absolutely useless with direction.
Spider-Man.
This shelf here
Yep.
is every single Spider-Man that Mafex has done. So I'm terrible, but I'll go all in on anything to do with Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, Wolverine, and then to some degree Deadpool as well. But yeah, those are my multiples of. I would do it with Iron Man as well, but I don't have the
You
time
can
or
have
money
so
for
much
that.
fun with Vader, though.
Yeah, but to me, and don't
Because
get
you
me
have two
wrong,
Vaders right there. You have the Synth Apprentice on the right, and then you have the battle
yes.
damage one on the left.
Yeah, but again, I don't want to upset anybody here, but the the original trilogy are not my films. I'm I'm too I'm too young. to say that.
Be careful where you
My,
tread here, my
I know,
friend.
I know, but my films were the prequels, and you know what it is? I love them to bits. You cannot tell me that Phantom Menace is a bad film because the nostalgia, everything about it, the cheesy lines, the bad acting, it's just that it's just that's my films. I remember going to see them in the cinemas, and again it was a big deal. And even back when I went through all the stuff with the original trilogy, I was always into the extended universe stuff. All the extended universe, about when Luke rebuilds the Jedi
Yep.
Temple, the whole Mara Jade,
Yep.
even going back to Knights of the Old Republic with Revan, Darth Malgus, all of that stuff. I always transfixed to the Jedi, and the problem is that the original trilogies don't have much Jedi. It's only in, and again, you're going to really hate us for this one, my favorite original trilogy, Return of the Jedi. And the reason why it's my favorite for is because Luke is a badass. It's got nothing to do
Okay.
with the stupid Ewoks or anything daft like that. It's because Luke and
Your
Vader.
favorite Luke is Jedi Luke. My favorite Luke is
Yeah,
Empire. I like
yeah.
Empire Luke.
Well, you're saying that the only Luke that I've actually got in my collection and my
Right there, yep. Is
oh,
the
yep,
Empire.
yeah, there he is, that one
Yep.
there. Yeah, the
Yep.
Empire Luke. But again, I collect things. I don't know. I think I'm being different, or at least I feel as though I'm being different. I'm not, because every other person's got the same figures. But
Sure.
I like to collect stuff that is, a little bit off the beaten track, or it's a like, when you get different versions of Batman and you get all the funky weird versions of Batman, that people might not have heard of before. Like I've just literally unboxed the Nightfall Batman, the Azrael one.
Yep.
And as I was unboxing that, the wife was just looking at it going, "What you bought that for? What even is it?" And I'm like, "It's Batman." And then I'm like, I'm loving the spikes out of his forearms, his boots, and his shoulders. And I'm like, he's a cool Batman. And then I explained the story where Batman gets his back broken and he takes over and he starts being a bit ruthless and starts killing people. And as I'm telling her that story, she's just sitting there like,
She's
yeah,
yawning.
I didn't ask. Yeah. But yeah, so I let her know he goes out and he starts killing people, and then obviously Bruce Wayne has to come back and he has to, sort him out. Uh, and it's figures like that where I never used to like stuff like that. I always used to just collect um, collect the odd thing or just collect what I liked. But then I started getting into the comic books and the stories, and now I'm all in on anything like that. I love anything to do with the Dark Knight Returns. I love that storyline. Hush, my
Uh-huh.
favorite Batman is the gruff Frank Miller Batman. I love that Batman. I think he's great.
So you put your order in for the Superman and the Batman, yeah?
I'm on the fence. Yeah, it's because every single 1/6 I've got is live action. I've only got 1/6 that is live action, and that is the guy I'm
That's your
pointing to
first
now.
one. Tell me you still have it.
Nathan Drake is just there. Yep. But the reason why I
Wait
still
a
have,
minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
all right, go
I
on then.
got you into 1/6 because you
Yeah.
won the Wolverine, the waffle.
Oh no, yeah, don't have him anymore.
Oh
So
my
yeah,
God. What?
yeah, that was it. So yeah, I won that, and I displayed him for ages. The problem was though was that his claws would come out, and it was just frustrating as hell. And to be fair, brown suit Wolverine isn't my Wolverine. My Wolverine's Tiger Stripe.
You're
So
killing
again,
me,
I was,
James.
yeah. But what I did do is I sold that figure, which funded the Iron Man and the No Way Home Spidey. So yeah, but you are right. My first 1/6 was that Wolverine that I won.
And you paid what? Like I mean, it's
$5.
obviously one spot that won it, but I think
Yeah,
you bought maybe 4 spots, 2 spots.
yeah. I think I enter every waffle.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things that I do.
Well, not
Me,
every waffle. You're not in on the current waffle.
oh yeah, yeah.
It's a different kind of waffle, though. It's very different.
Yeah, as you can see, limited with the space. This is the only room in the house that I've actually got figures in, or anything
Right
actually
now.
right now. Well, you're saying that the wife was talking about decorating the downstairs toilet, and the acrylics that I buy from Bottleneck Gallery, they are perfect for putting on the wall. So she was like, "Why don't we turn the downstairs toilet into a Spider-Man shrine?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm well game for that." But
You want a
she's told,
Spider-Man to topple into the toilet?
well, no, it would just be so it would just be the acrylics on the walls, like in frames and
Just the
stuff.
acrylic.
Just the acrylics, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Oh no, no, not the figures. But she's been talking about getting some detofs and putting them upstairs in the bedroom and stuff for when I run out of space down here. So again, she's a terrible, terrible enabler, but I love her to bits for it. God, she's just amazing. Anything that I get into, she sees the joy and the happiness it brings me, and that's she genuinely wants that for us as well, which you obviously would do. And I think I'm very fortunate in that sense.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. All right, James. Let's do a tour. You
Yeah,
ready?
yeah. Do you want to
All right.
bring my camera in?
Just let me know when you're good with the camera.
Yeah, 2 seconds. Yeah, ready.
Okay. You good?
Yep,
Okay.
good to go. So, first set. I'll tell you what. Is it better that way? No.
No, no, you
Yeah,
got to keep it. You got to
yeah.
keep it that way.
So my first stuff is the boys. I love the boys. Anything to do with Homelander, I'll lap that up straight away. As you can see, I've got my Mafex collection there.
Got some
Uh,
Funkos in there. What's wrong with you?
yeah, you know what it is? Those are the only two I own. The only reason why I own them for is part of my card group, I got this one made, and it's Ned Flanders from The Simpsons and Homelander. And again, it's the from my card group. Um, Shout out to Joe Charman. He customizes his own cards. Um, and as I say, he did a mashup of Homelander from The Boys and Ned Flanders, and I thought that was just great. Uh, so yeah, the only reason why I've got that Funko is because it matches that one. It's sort of the
Okay.
same type of thing. As you can see, I collect Pokemon cards. I do have two up there from Crown Zenith, or Crown Zenith, as you guys say. I do have two missing because they're actually away grading at the moment. That's my other hobby, which is very expensive. Pokemon cards, getting them graded, and yeah, that could be a nightmare sometimes. This is a custom painting I had done by the same artist as these here, and again, Homelander, just my favorite off the beaten track superhero, shall we say. Next, I've got my Star Wars Generation shelf. So the only Black Series that I own is here. Let me just get up a bit. My mobility is not that great, so bear with me. But yeah, starts off with episode 1, then comes down to episode 2, and then I love this pose. Obi-Wan and Anakin screaming at each other, episode
That is a good
3.
pose.
Yeah. And then the final one is when Obi-Wan's about to down his saber in Empire, and Vader's
Yeah.
about to make him stronger than he can possibly imagine. And then next, I've got my original Force FX lightsaber, which I don't know if I've got any batteries in it. Nah, don't have any batteries in it. I tend to take the batteries out because I don't like to leave them on. Then I've got all of my Star Wars SHFs. That was the first figure that I ever bought off you, my Count Dooku.
Yep.
And I love him. He's never been out of that pose since I got him, ever. Got a few figures here. I love that Jar Jar.
He's a
Nobody,
great figure.
he really is. He doesn't get any praise. Nobody talks about him ever.
No.
These ones are a bit mid. I was a bit disappointed with them. Ahsoka's a great figure. I tend to stay in scale, but I had to have. I love Bo-Katan from Mandalorian, and if you look, she actually doesn't do too bad in scaling. She actually
Is
looks
that the
all.
Mafex?
Yeah, the Mafex one, because the SHF haven't done one, or at least I've never seen one. But yeah, if they have, let us know, because I'll replace her in a heartbeat. Not that the SHFs are better, it's just everything scales. So once I'm stuck into a line, that's it. I'm in it. You sold me that layer as well. I got
Yeah.
that off you.
I remember finding that in a box, being like, "Oh, look
Yeah,
at this."
yeah. And the first Mace Windu
Yeah.
with the terrible sculpt, and this is the first Yoda, and everybody craps on Grievous, but I love this hunched over pose. It reminds us of when he's on his ship, when he captures Obi-Wan and Anakin.
Yeah.
And I think it's a fantastic figure for what it is. Yes, it could have been made better. It could be more stable, but yeah.
Did you get that Yoda off of me too?
Oh yes, yeah, I did. Yeah,
Okay.
I think I got it at the same time as I got Dooku.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. But I love that look with the closed eyes. I think that's brilliant. Again,
Oh, yeah. That's how I have mine. Yeah.
I've never changed his pose either. I've got a couple of custom cards on display. That's Ancient Grogu. So it's like the Ancient Mew from Pokemon, but obviously customized Star Wars. And then I've got like a tarot card again, which is the Death Star, which I think is great. And that matches my T-shirt today as well. So I've got a
That's great.
Pokemon, but it's a Death Star as well. I saw that online. I just had to have it straight away. Next is we'll start off with the 1/6 up here. So we've got Vader, and as I say, I like posing little ones. That's the Tem Studios Vader, which everybody complained that his head was too big, and they complained about certain things. But you know what it is? I love him. I think he's great. He's not fantastic. He's not amazing, but for me, wanting a Vader soft goods that's not going to deteriorate over time. It's not that pleather material. He's absolutely fantastic.
You'll have to put the new Mafex one up there when you get it.
I will be getting that one because I'm a stickler for buying the 1/6 figure and then having the 1/12 version of that next to him as well.
Yeah.
You'll see loads of themes like that in my collection because I'm absolutely OCD with doing that type of stuff. As you can see, there's my
Star
Sith
Wars
Apprentice.
Celebration. Anakin.
Yeah, the Star Wars
Or Vader.
Celebration one.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is that I think
That's the exclusive base. Yeah.
that stands as my most expensive figure to date because, as I say, aftermarket pricing, which is a killer.
Yeah. I see Webman.
Yeah, tell you what it is, I'm just gonna unmute and I'm gonna move over here. Can you still hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. So if I just open the cabinet up.
Webman, Amazing Yamaguchi,
Yeah.
DB Toys, Mess Toys, Mafex,
You got to
Hot Toys.
reproduce the acrylic, the
Oh,
big one that you have on the wall with those two guys.
2 seconds because I can't. Let me just turn this volume on because I can't hear a word you're saying. Right, see again.
I was saying that Spider-Man print that you have up on the wall, the one that surprised you with the size, you should reproduce that image
Yeah,
with the Venom and the Spider-Man there in the cabinet.
this one here.
Yeah, yeah, that one.
Yeah, so that's what I'll try to do with these. Let's see, make them cool.
Yeah.
Let's see what. Let me just turn my mic off on here. There we go. Next, so yeah, I love these the comic books at the back. I think they're great, and I love my Tom pose there. I think he's quite cool. I do have Sawtooth Venom, which is a fantastic figure. He is supposed to be here, so he's going to sort of be stalking from the top. But I need to get something to pin him up because at the moment he balances, but he won't stay. Star Wars. So as you can see, I've got my Luke. I've got these guys. These are the new versions, and they're just walking about. Again, got the comic book acrylic Star Wars at the back there. Here's my T800 with again his Mafex guys. I've got a random alien there, which I don't particularly like. That's the 52K Toys one. I think it's too toy like. That's the 10th anniversary cap.
Yep.
Just just got him. Next is my Supermans. I love this. Love my Superman. He's my favorite DC hero. So we've got Mezco, Yamaguchi, National Defender. There's Hush, Mafex, Kingdom Come with his sexy thighs. Muff Clark Kent, which is an amazing figure. Cyborg Superman. Next to some Jim Lee art for I think that's World of Man of Tomorrow.
Yep.
That's the new Gong one, and I think it's a fantastic figure. Again, the thighs, but apart from that, it's great. And this is
Is that the Wii Light?
the Wii Light, yeah, the latest one. Superboy in the back, and then obviously in our Cavill. And then this is my end game shelf. So I've got Tony in the pose, the only pose you can put this figure in. If anybody's got it in any different pose, you're doing it wrong. Again, another comic book. Cheating a bit with Infinity War Spider-Man there. I've got SHF Wanda. That is Infinity War Black Widow. She's just in there because I've got nowhere else to put her.
Yeah.
Wanda, love Endgame Wanda. Another one off you. SHF Final Battle
SHF.
Thanos. Beautiful figure.
Yeah, it's a great set.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of my best 112 figures, even with all the third party. Amazing. Then I've got that was my second figure. My Battle
That the
Damage
Mafex.
one. Obviously, yeah, the three trio. So Mafex Cat, that's everybody's after all the time. And Thor. and they're my endgame cap. But I don't know if you've noticed, it's the new sculpt from the new stealth suit. This guy.
Yeah.
And then obviously I've got, this is like a gaming shelf. So I've got, again, I don't know who One Punch Man is, and I don't know what this guy is. Aaron, I think he's called.
Yeah, Aaron.
Yeah, I don't follow the brand. I just like the way they look. Halo. Again, this monkey guy and the lion guy. I don't even know what that lion's called. He's like Azure bloody lion. And I've got Metal Gear, Solid Snake, Limb Toys, Last of Us, Nathan Drake, and Guyver. Guyver was my grail for so long.
I remember when you got that.
Yeah. I used to I used to love that when I was tiny and coming out the 80s. And it's just one IP that's always stuck with us. But to be fair, it's not even that big. It's only, I think there's only 2 seasons, and they're tiny compared to like all the other anime. Like I don't know if you seen One Piece. There's about
Yep.
1 billion episodes of those.
Yeah.
Mars Toys, I love that.
Great figure.
Yeah. I've got my little Joker set up there. And a diorama that I had custom made from Lee's Dioramas here in the UK. He's very talented. I've got my turtles. Again, you can tell I've just built this this shelf because it's still a bit higgledy piggledy. Got my Daredevil and my Adrian Venom as well. Next shelf is I've got my Batmans, and you can see I'm another Batman whore. One of my nicest
That
figures.
hair's a bit messy, huh?
Yeah. Well, the problem is I've been moving things, and I tend just to put things down, and yeah, it can be a nightmare. But yeah, he needs a bit of care. Hush Batman, which I only got with the last release. That's the Manipple one. Love that one. Bale. Muff Toys. Mezco. There's my LPZC set. Gong. That's that Asriel killer suit I was saying about earlier. As I say, it's just so different. I've got a Nightwing there, just randomly spinning his buttons about. This is a fantastic figure. As I say, this is my favorite Batman. And then I've got the battle damage version of him as well.
Yeah.
Muff Toy's Secret Agent, fantastic figure.
Great figure.
Yeah, it's really, really good likeness on it as well. It's,
Yeah. It's right up there with the Bale Batman by Inat.
Peacemaker. This is a toy that I've just gotten. He's fantastic. Is the clock? Well, what I call just the Clockwork Ninja from Hellboy.
Yeah.
Brilliant figure. Then we've got Hellboy himself by 1,000 Toys. Yamaguchi Moon Knight. Got the new Sawtooth Blade. That is Dota, the leather version, which is really, really good. Articulation's not great, which the Mafex is better. But as you can see, I'm halfway through posing him. Oh, he's missing all of his bits that are on my desk. Another Black Widow there. And I've got my Deadpool Wolverine. I have to forgive me because this I still haven't finished building this cabinet, so I've got the door off. But that's my Deadpool and Wolverines. As I say, I go all in on Wolverine as well. And then I've got all of my X-Men there as well.
No Sentinel 97s?
Too big. Couldn't fit it anywhere. It certainly
Lay
wouldn't
'em
fit in
down.
there. Yeah, I'd have to lay him down. And then the last thing is obviously my Batman up the top there with his cape. Love it. And I've got some Pokemon slabs. So I love collecting anything. There's all my Spider-Verse stuff. And then in the back I've got more of the acrylics as well.
Is that the Sentinels penny?
Yes. I've got the Sentinel penny. I've also got the Sentinel Spider-Man
Better
Noir.
Noir.
Yeah, which, I love that. I think it's absolutely great. I did get the Sentinel Spider-Punk that's just come out. But again, as I say, I only need one character, like one figure of that character. And the SHF they were practically the same. So you know where that one ended up.
Yeah.
But that's it. I've got some cards on display from my customizer here in the UK. And I've got loads of binders and stuff, all my Pokemon binders. All different sets. I love just collecting nicks and knacks and stuff. And then I've got a bunch of stock. This is all the stuff that I've bought in for people. And there's that big picture I told you about earlier.
Yeah.
Let me stick this on mute.
Well, thank you for that, James. That was a great little tour. Very nice seeing your collection. We've only, normally only see, a little bit here and there, but it's nice to see the full thing. You're still muted, James. Still muted. Hold on. I can unmute you. Oh, I guess I can't. I guess James is going to try to fix that. If anybody has any questions for James, please put them in the chat. I'm sure he'll be happy to answer whatever questions anybody has. I'm struggling with my eyes. You can see my eyes are really bad. If you're joining late, I'm suffering from allergies. It's brutal. So, but I can show people. Well, I'll do it. I'll do it another time. You good now, James? No. You're still muted.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you now.
I cannot hear you though.
No?
2 seconds.
This has been happening on StreamYard. People can't hear me. It's a really weird situation. Yeah, I got to do that. Easier said than done.
Here we go.
Still can't hear me, James? No? I'll write it in the chat. James.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Yeah, you can hear me fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just can't
leave and come back in.
All. I've got
leave
audio
and come back in.
Yeah. Talk now?
Can you hear me?
No. Well, I can hear you. Let me get you on here. You wouldn't think I work in IT, would you?
You're
There you
like
go.
Jason.
There you go. I can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. All right, man. So again, appreciate that tour. It was great. It's really nice. Ian with the jokes.
What's he saying?
Putting lemon juice in your eyes helps wash away the pollen.
I know you don't look too great.
No. So I'm gonna wrap this up because I do have to put something on my face. But I want to thank James again. James, you want to do a shout out for your website?
Yeah, cheers. So my website is plastichero.co.uk. I'll start again. plastichero.co.uk. You know, I'm not doing Japanese prices because I'm having to get the stuff in the country itself, and it's an absolute nightmare after you've paid for all the taxes and stuff. But anybody that doesn't want to brave that world, you're coming in to my website or you're coming in on eBay and you're paying the price that's listed, which is nice peace of mind. I am going to try and get some social media and whatnot on the go because I do like posting reviews of figures that I get, but I normally just post as myself in Rob's group. But yeah, I'm going to try and start posting more and actually get an online presence. It's just finding the time to do so.
Timing is hard.
It really, really is.
Really is. All right, James. So again, thank you very much for being here, for showing off your collection, for sharing your journey with us. We really do appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
No problem at all. Thanks for having us.
And again, everybody who's been watching, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Just a reminder that we'll be doing our next live stream Sunday night, and I will choose the winner for that Super Musk waffle during the live stream. So if you are interested in the Super Musk waffle, I'll be closing that probably in 24 hours. That'll probably close, and then we'll choose the winner and hopefully get that out to you
Nice.
ASAP. So again, everyone, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Be good, be safe, and see you all next time.
Cheers, all.